technical as Zeev usually comes to 2020 telling us how something really technical works, whether we should be changing the way we live our lives or explaining how the moon landing was just a hoax. Today we'll see a lighter side of Nick as he tells us a bedtime story about when toys...
Sure. It was a night like any other, at 10 p.m. in the 6th. Not a creature was working, except for one of the Knicks. The SAT model had finished running, but there were still too many unknowns. And it was getting kind of late, so it was time to go home. That is a slow 20 seconds. So Zeev packed up his things, and he left kind of quick. His headphones in ear, and the door closed with a click. And while the office seemed empty, something strange was in the air. And another body quickly commandeered Nick's chair. 5, 4. Meet Stormtrooper Daniel, seen working here so diligent. The trait you'd expect from someone in the galactic militant. But the reality is he knows there's only so many hours left to go. Not before the night ends, but before his boss makes a show. You see, you all thought the Death Ray project was just a silly little hoax. A time for me to take the stage and make some climate change jokes. But Project Stardust is underway. Stormtrooper Daniel is chief engineer. Intuitive is funding the Galactic Empire, and construction is early next year. Now, Stormtrooper Daniel is in a little over his head. With the scale of this project, he's been a little bit misled. He's starting to understand why Intuitive was the lowest bidder, because there's so many factors that have not been considered. Seemingly trivial factors, when magnified, start to conflate, like the direction of gravity being dictated by the structure's self-weight. How will the sphere thermally expand when it's facing starlight? We can't use sliding connections, because it must be airtight. Have we modeled passenger evacuation, as that's a real possibility? There's a Womp Rat-sized problem that could cause rapid disassembly. These forces are in petanewtons. The math seems ethereal. And have we even considered where we're going to get all of this material? There's a sound behind Daniel, and someone walks through the door. Intuitive's latest principal has ventured onto the 7th floor. Darth Vader recently bought some stock and has big plans for this division. Space engineering will be all that's left once the Death Star meets his vision. "How's the progress?" said Vader, talking in his raspy mechanical tone. "Not great," thought Daniel, glad his expression wasn't shown. "Are we near CD drawings? How far along are you in design? I just got a call from David Stevenson, and he's ready to redline." Daniel's mind started racing. He had to gain time somehow. He said, "I thought you said these drawings were due 2 weeks from now." Darth Vader drew in a breath. "There's no time to delay, and I expect to see a package on my desk by end of day." Stormtrooper Daniel raced back to his desk and started typing in a haze, scrambling to finish work that might take a normal person days. Running the optimization of a planet might have been impossible years ago, but might just be achievable with Grasshopper and Rhino. So he connected all the wires, activated Karamba 3D, plugged all the objectives into the component Wallacey. There were 600 different variables. Would a solution even emerge? So he minimized the program, hoping that would help the thing converge. And while he waited for an answer, Daniel decided to unplug, headed down to the lounge with some hot chocolate in his mug. He was regretting taking the product on, but it had been so hard to resist it. He couldn't turn away when he saw it first, in case you missed it. And Vader was such a horrible boss. There was never time to relax. Him being prone to aggressive outbursts resulted in anxiety attacks. A violent boss who says what he wants, and mired with countless scandals. Being directly under him, he should change his name to Stormy Daniels. Daniel got a notification, an email from the man upstairs. "Show me what you have now," and the rest filled him with despair. Stormtrooper Daniel opened his model. The results were not fun. His computer had crashed. Not a single generation had run. Daniel trudged over to his boss to communicate the bad news. Darth immediately responded, aggressively expressing his views. "I don't care if you work all night. Your progress makes me sick. Don't make me call Emperor Machino. Make him fire you like the Knicks." Stormtrooper Daniel had had enough and went to discuss with his other friends. "This hostile work environment is awful. These abuses have to end." When they came up with a plan, Daniel's chest started to swell. He would go to people in culture and he would directly tell Michelle. So Vader was pulled into a phone room, one where you can hear all the sound. And Michelle began to tell him, work is not your stomping ground. Intuitive lives its mantra, integrated, collaborative, advanced. And we can't spread that culture when you make our employees shit their pants. Vader returned to Daniel's desk, anger hidden behind his mask. Gritted behind his teeth, he completed the daunting task. "You're doing good work," he croaked. "I was aggressive with my critique. We can keep the deadline where it is, sometime in the next 2 weeks." And as the sun began to rise, Daniel decided to pause the mission. Barry would soon arrive, and he had to be back in position. But in the rush to finish, he forgot part of his routine and accidentally left the Death Star plans open on Nick's screen. Thank you.